Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Keith with Positively Osceola. Welcome to another episode of our evening coffee club discussion. And as I always say, this is not a prop. It is a tool that I absolutely will be using and do often. Got some way cool people with us tonight. Going to start to my immediate, what looks to be my left. That's the City of St. Cloud City Manager, Bill Sturgeon. How you doing tonight, Bill?
Good evening, Keith. Good evening, Paula and Matt.
Good to see you guys. Matt is right below me visually here, and Matt Rody with loading Gastro.Brunch. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing this evening?
Great, and I am super looking forward to you just speaking a little bit about your restaurant and what we were starting to talk about a little earlier, because I know that certainly people want to hear about it. And then, of course, last but in no way least, Paula Stark, the Executive Director of St. Cloud Main Street, and so many other things you've done in the community. How you doing?
Good. How is everybody?
I'm good. I got coffee. I'm happy.
I have water.
Water is good. I have some of that as well. So we're getting together tonight on on obviously a very rainy day. I'd ask something stupid like, did it rain where you guys were? But that would be ridiculous. It kind of rained everywhere. It is a peninsula. But so we're here kind of for a purpose. Obviously we like to talk a lot about the community. Of late, I don't remember having a conversation that we don't weave in COVID-19 in some way. But that is a catalyst for a lot of things that have taken place, no doubt. So tonight, though, we're not just talking about that. We're talking about small businesses for sure, where we're sitting here with Bill and Paula, but specifically an event. And I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to flip that over real quick if I can show that event. Bam, and there it is. Cool. So, Paula, why don't you go ahead and kind of explain what this event that's coming up is and what the catalyst was to create this event?
Well, actually, there's been a few of us who have been working on this for probably almost after the shutdown, because it was apparent very quickly on that the businesses were going to need some assistance regardless of how long they were going to be, hampered to do business and be shut down, some longer than others, obviously. So we had a small committee that we were working with through Main Street, and Bill was sitting in on some of those meetings because obviously we can't do the things we do without the city. So we all worked together and tried to come up with what we thought would be a practical application that would be able to help the businesses individually and collectively, but also to be able to encourage our community to come back downtown, number one, and number two, how we would relay that to them to make them feel comfortable and safe as they did it. Obviously, timing was a problem and an issue because it was a moving target all the time. But we think within the next couple of weeks, people should feel a little more confident, and then they'll be able to come back down and visit our merchants. So basically what it is we're telling our community that we miss them, and we hope that they missed our downtown community as well, and we'll come down on the 20th of June from 10 to 3. All the merchants will be open. They'll have different specials. A lot of them are going to have balloons in their locations with specials in it or discounts or giveaways, and you'll be able to pop those balloons and see what you get from that. So that'll be a fun little trick. The morning will start out with a ribbon cutting kind of city re-grand opening at City Hall that is hosted by the St. Cloud Chamber of Commerce. They're doing that portion of it for us. So we'll be starting there, and from there it's really just everybody being able to come downtown, see that the merchants are there, see what they're doing on a regular basis to keep everybody safe. They all are using the protocols from the CDC. I spoke with Leslie from Sincerely Yours this afternoon, and she was telling me, how she keeps the sanitizing station at different locations in her store. She's wiping down the door handle constantly. She's wearing a mask so that the customers can feel comfortable. So they're all taking great strides to make everybody feel confident if they, choose to come down. So we're going to try to make sure everybody feels safe and comfortable, but we want you to know that everybody's back open for business and they really want you to come down and see them again. There are some businesses, obviously, that are in our district that are outside of where the streets will be closed. The closed streets will be Pennsylvania and New York Avenue from 9th Street to 12th Street. So our businesses who are not located on those two streets will actually be able to set up a tent in the curve around City Hall. So you'll be able to come down and visit them as well. They'll be there to greet you. And they all have a different holiday because the whole theme is to celebrate all of those holidays and celebrations that everybody missed during the shutdown. So I know Matt will be able to talk tonight because his block is Easter. So they'll be celebrating Easter with all of our patrons that come down. Then you'll have graduations, anniversary, St. Patrick's Day, Earth Day, Cinco de Mayo, Mother's Day. So look for all of those businesses and celebrate whatever celebration you want to work on. Their birthdays as well. So they'll be down there and waiting for you. I do want to mention, we did have a couple of people who've helped us out. Shamrock Auto Body donated money to us so that we could purchase shopping bags to give to all the merchants to give out that day. So that will be there and available for them. So people will be able to take their goodies around in a shopping bag, and hopefully that will remind them on a regular basis what happened in 2020 and that St. Cloud missed them and they're glad they're back.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to start forgetting some of what 2020 brought us.
Isn't it the truth? I don't think we'll forget anytime soon.
For a couple of days. I know. I was saying earlier, my wife and I went over to Universal Studios Florida yesterday as annual pass holders and kind of we were curious of what that whole feel would feel. How it would all feel with a number of people. What would the crowd saturation look like, and how it would feel to see so many people with masks on. And I tell you, when City Walk first opened up, it was just a tad strange. It was not all that strange to me to see people really paying attention in large numbers to social distancing. It just seemed almost normal to see masks these days, but didn't expect that, but it really was true. So Matt, Paula kind of mentioned your area of downtown will be, I guess, looking back or rewinding to Easter. Why don't you tell us how that looks from where you're going to be on that day?
So we'll be doing as best we can, some kind of nice little homage to Easter. I don't know if we're gonna have somebody advanced up. I know they have the mascot planned for the Poncho Bunny, but we'll try to do as cute as we possibly can. We did the brunch with the Grinch, and we kind of decorated everything super Christmas, including hanging bulbs and ornaments. So we're gonna try to do as much as a cute play on the holidays as humanly possible. We probably roll out a couple things we did for our Easter specials as well, including Benedict's and frittatas. But just kind of relive or be able to recapture moments lost for the community, holidays especially.
And so, and somebody just asked when the event is, and it is obviously on June 20th, correct, Paula?
That's correct. 10 to 3. The ribbon cutting is at 10 o'clock.
There you go. So I'm going to pop back over to Matt a little bit. For somebody who maybe has not experienced your restaurant yet, why don't you tell us a little bit about where it is? And as I said earlier too, when we were talking before this, how you came to select, downtown St. Cloud, and just tell us a little bit about what you guys do and what you serve there, please.
All right. We were looking for about the last year or so, looking to get into something, via it be a cafe or a food truck, and we looked through all the real estate through Orlando, proper areas, all the surrounding suburbs, and St. Cloud's the one we fell most in love with, primarily because of the building. Everything here is authentic from the 20s, so we have the cooking in a fireplace, Cypress beams, the original Spanish tile floor. It took a lot of work, obviously, to renovate it and bring everything to the modern day, but it's been totally worth it. The building is just absolutely gorgeous, and the town's been more than welcoming. We couldn't have been happier with St. Cloud via both from permitting processes to the local people trying to help us out, such as Shelly, Paula. Main Street's been wonderful. And it's kind of nice to really be able to grow with this community. To be honest, I've been in Central Florida probably for about 12 years now, and I had never been to St. Cloud before we started looking into the real estate down here. and I'm never going to leave. We moved here 2 weeks ago, and we just really become part of the community. We really do love it here. As far as like the restaurant, brunch centric, we like to serve kind of like a fun play on brunch, such as like chicken waffle tacos. We're starting to try to organically grow our dinner menu now, so that we can have a little bit more draw at nighttime and kind of bring people in for more casual evening, going like a date night. Most of our brand is built off of being social, which ironically this year when we opened is kind of like the social distancing and everything kind of being anti that. So once it comes back, we like to like generate game nights and like really nice gatherings for people in St. Cloud to be able to kind of hang out here and not have to go outside of the town limits to really enjoy themselves.
You know, it's a big thing. My family's been here about 30 years, and so often, and not anymore, but so often we'd say it was such a shame that I would drive past the downtown and drive out of St. Cloud in order to do things like what you just described. And it's really trending back away from that now, not just because of social distancing and wanting not to be around larger places, but more to be, to be a part of that community. You really can enjoy where you live and where you work and where you raise your family. So, Bill, that must be good to hear some of the things Matt just said as far as how the system's working in the city of St. Cloud now for businesses. I know you mentioned Shelley. Sure, she's awesome, and Paula, big advocate for business for years. And so, Bill, you've got to feel good to hear what Matt just said.
It's always nice to hear that, and I always consider myself a newcomer to St. Cloud. Paul has been in this battle for many, many years with Main Street, trying to revitalize the downtown. They've done huge projects, small projects. We made a significant investment a couple of years ago in New York. We're getting ready to make another significant investment to revitalize Pennsylvania. And so we want people to come downtown. We think it's authentic. It's real St. Cloud. And this event, it's just like time stood still for 3 months. And we want to get people back downtown and enjoy the beauty of the downtown and the socialization that Matt was just talking about. So when Paula called me and they pitched this idea, we kind of knew what we wanted to do when they said rewind. We fell in love with that, and the city is fully supportive of this. We want people to come downtown, to have fun, to practice safe distancing, to wear their mask, and I think they're going to have a great time. Everybody's used to that lifestyle now. Hopefully in the next several months we can get away from that. But in this event, we want you to come downtown and have a lot of fun and support our local businesses. Let's get them back thriving.
When I first heard the title of the event, I thought how crazy, awesome, creative that was, and so I really love the fact that we get to talk about it, because I think with as much that has been going on, more than ever, on the internet, basically we've all really thrown ourselves more and more into online, because that's the way we've been able to socially engage, in a double-edged sword. So with so much going on, it gets to be very noisy. It's hard for people to really figure out what's being said sometimes. So I think it's really important we constantly remind people that the 2020 Rewind event is a big deal. Great way to kick off back into coming into downtown, engaging with those small businesses, engaging with the restaurants like Matt's Restaurant. It's a big deal. I don't want to talk my way through this whole time together, but I think one of the most inspirational things through all of this was to see how much people in the community wanted to support the small businesses, wanted to support the restaurants. So I think without this unfortunate time we've had pandemic-wise, I don't know that we've had these relationships. I don't know that we would have the depth of the relationships I think we're going to carry through once this does end up in the rearview mirror. I think we respect our small businesses and our restaurants much more because we took the time to get to know who they are. So that's just my take on it. But I'm a pretty much an optimist 24/7. So Paula, why don't you, for those who don't understand what St. Cloud Main Street is, we won't go into too much detail and wow everybody at 8:30 at night, but go ahead, tell everybody what St. Cloud Main Street's up to these days. Obviously what we're talking about tonight, but give people an idea what St. Cloud Main Street does.
Okay. Well, first, I just want to add a couple of items as it relates to the event on the 20th. I want everybody to know that we will have the St. Cloud Food Pantry on hand. They'll be on New York and 9th around City Hall. We're asking everybody to bring a food item or more, or cash donations if you like. Tammy did say that you can go on their website and you can donate online if you'd like to. But in case everyone isn't aware, they have been significantly challenged in the past couple of months. Their need capacity has gone up 73%, and it went up quite quickly. So they really are in need to be able to garner enough food to be able to address the needs in the community. So if everybody could do that, would be great. Also, I hope everybody is paying a little bit of attention to social media, because one of the things we've been doing is having our merchants do videos on their own, and they're submitting them to us, and we've been putting them out on St. Cloud Main Street's Facebook page. And I know, Keith, you're putting them out, and the Osceola News Gazette put on their Around Osceola site. They have all the videos posted there. So if you want to take a look at any of them, you can see how creative some of our businesses have been. They're really adorable, from something really, classy and more professional, to some of them just talking to the audience, to some of them dressing up for the holiday that they will be representing. They are really going to be doing some fun stuff. So take a look at all of that, and then you'll just kind of be that much more in love with your merchants, because now you'll see their personalities in a whole different vein. So that's kind of fun. So we wanted to make sure you know about that. But as far as Main Street is concerned, this, in case no one knows, this was our 20th year, our 20th anniversary. We were designated a program in 1999. Basically, Main Streets across the country are economic development based in historic preservation. So a lot of times you'll see us doing things that are geared to trying to promote business and bring businesses downtown and those kinds of things. But at the same time, we work on the historic aspect of our community. And basically, we have a huge and wonderful history as a soldier city and some of the early beginnings. And so in working with the city to bring all that forward, putting a committee together to bring the historic district and the ordinance back together, which allowed them to be able to apply to be a certified local government, which allows them other opportunities for grants and items like that, in addition to Main Streets and CLGs. If you're designated those, there's a lot of grant opportunities through the state that are available that you don't have to have matching funds for. In other situations, you have a 50-50 match. So we focus on that a lot. The historic markers that you see around downtown, which are the big blue markers on the poles, those are markers that we've made application for, and the state has approved. And with the city's input and assistance, we install those and do unveilings. And that just puts you on the state level for historic preservation. There's actually a marker area for the state site, and people travel to see those kinds of things. People travel for history. So it's another way that we can promote our community. So we do that in addition to National Registry. We got the VFW train station on the National Register. Our GAR has been on for quite some time. We now just passed the state level for the Women's Club and the Veterans Museum to be able to take it up to the next step, to be able to get it on the National Register. So we're hoping that that will go through. We have just written and submitted a grant to apply in another year for our whole district to be put on the National Register. So once that happens, that kind of gives us a whole nother avenue of input, marketing opportunities, other kinds of tax credits available and grants available. But all of it's a process. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of volunteers to do the things we do, the events that we put on. So we're kind of varied in all of the aspects that we do. And in case those that don't know it, we had the Smoke and Blues that we usually do in May. It did get postponed, obviously. And we will be doing that September 12th at the lakefront. So we hope everybody, will feel good to come back down and enjoy that event later on. And hopefully it'll all be back to normal by then. So we'll see how that goes. But we're pretty varied in our aspects of work. And if anybody ever wants to just tap in, email, call us, we're always happy to talk to anybody about that.
Awesome. Well said. And, your passion is really obvious. You've done a lot since you've been heading up St. Cloud Main Street. How many years have you been executive director now?
8.
Seems like only yesterday.
Right. But I was involved from the very beginning. Prior to being the director, I actually was a board of directors. So
Right.
Been as a volunteer for many years and then was the director.
Well, you're doing a great job over there, and it's very noticeable. I love the synergy between the City of St. Cloud Main Street, and the St. Cloud Chamber of Commerce. I know Dirk Webb just popped in, and we're going to drag him here in one of these nights very soon as we continue to work toward getting our schedules to match up right.
Yeah, Dirk's been great. He jumped right in to do the ribbon cutting and grand opening at City Hall. So the Chamber's been very supportive of this project.
He's a great guy. Done a great job over the St. Cloud Chamber. He may not be listening, but if so, way to go, Dirk. Hey, so we'll kind of wrap it at this point. I want to thank all of you for sure. I don't want to make we kind of joke through things sometimes here because we try to keep it a bit casual, but in reality, it's been a really challenging time that has not ended quickly. We talk about the fact that hurricanes, they come and then they literally do go, and they can leave some devastation and a lot of challenges for communities, but they do go, this is a kind of a long playing scenario. So I don't want to make light of it. I know Matt, you guys get started, you kick off, and you got a passion for what you're doing, and then this takes place. So honestly, hats off to you, man, for staying the course and being part of the community. I'm really excited to hear what you said, that you moved here. It's a big deal. So welcome, man. And Bill, your leadership is outstanding. We appreciate you very much, and we never have any problem communicating with you. You're always there for us. Everybody on your staff is such a great, just a great part of a great team, and you guys lead, and we appreciate you leading. And then I know, Paula, you've got it going on down there. And, this has been a defining time for sure. So it's great to see that, people have been willing to talk about it. Leaders have been willing to lead. And so we look forward to trying to help everybody as much as we can from where we sit as well. So anything else you want to say before we finish up tonight?
I just want everybody to really realize how pulled together our businesses have been. It's been very interesting. And in addition to that, our community has been hugely supportive. It's amazing. It has, for all of the hard parts of this, it has been a little bit inspiring to see all the positives that come from it. And that usually comes from individuals and your community as a whole. So it's very rewarding sometimes to sit back and look at that, even though there are challenges everywhere. And Matt's redesign of his location, if you haven't been in there, everybody should go in there. Even if you don't want to stop and eat, you should go look at it, because they did an amazing renovation to that building. So kudos to them.
And kudos to you, Matt, again for staying this long, because I have a feeling you got a lot to do over there at the business right now. So thanks for being cool, man.
Oh, no, I appreciate you having me. Thanks so much. Now it's time to clean. So.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola, along with the city manager of City of St. Cloud, Bill Sturgeon, and the executive director of St. Cloud Main Street, Matt Rody from Loading Gastro.Brunch. So glad you guys could be here tonight. Remember, June 20th is Rewind 2020, or 2020 Rewind, rather. And we're going to be there, and we invite everyone as well. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, Keith.
All right. Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola. Have a great night, everybody. We're making a positive difference in Osceola County.